robot goes a little bit like this. Once you let go, you can't touch the robot. You can only sit there with the Kleenex and cry if it doesn't work. So you have to practice. You have to have the spacers. You may have seen Cy coming up with that question.
What if their table, like it might have like a slightly leaning or it's slightly different because there's like a red table or something.
What if they're what now?
Like if the table is slightly different, like if it's slightly sleeping.
Which table? The one at the competition
Yeah.
or here?
Yeah.
What happens is
Because Arjun said we can't use ultrasonic.
you get what?
I thought Arjun said we can't use ultrasonic.
It's not preferable to, only because since you have differences in how your tables are positioned, their mats and your board width and length, they are measured by millimeters, and experiencing from last year, ultrasonic is not a good choice because you have that variability plus the variability of the mat and table itself, so it's not the best choice. Also for this year, you have color sensor, and in my opinion, you don't need it.
Okay. So the technical answer is you can use it, but just like with the gyro sensor, people had a lot of problems. If you find a way to do this that doesn't include that, that works. The answer to your question, if the ones that day have variability,
Yeah, because they couldn't, just by this much, it can mess up with.
without question. And this is why you have to practice, practice, practice. Because even if it's off like this and you mess up mission number 7, if you got mission number 8 and it's down cold, you're going to make the points, the other team's going to lose. There are some teams, when you go there, you're going to see with your own eyes, so many teams, the robot does something, comes out to the beginning, it stops. It's going to go somewhere, something's going to happen, there's a little ripple in the board, boom, they lost the points. So the more you practice on the one robot, yes?
Should we like test it out, like even with like a little ripple, to see if it can work?
You should, but the first thing is make sure without any ripple you can get. If you find you're getting 400 points without any ripple, put the ripples in and see what happens. And maybe you'll decide, hey, we finished in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We've got 15 seconds to play with. Let's make this thing slower so even if there's a ripple, this thing handles it in terms of the revolutions, right? That's called debugging, right? Very, very important. So, yesterday when I left, I told the team in the last 15 minutes, the mentor was here, to take whatever robot design you have and show how you're doing the missions. Because we want to be able to say, mission 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who are the top 2 robo designs from? Is it Rishi and Sai? Is it Hershini and Ria? Who is it? Okay? Because we have to take those lessons. I can't sit there and say, you know, I'm making it, but the most number of points is being made by somebody else's robot. We have to start paying attention. Okay? The other thing is with the attachments, the robots are all being charged. If you know it on the day of the competition, supposing when we do these competitions out of these 7 people, we find that Sai and Ria are the best in terms of time, right? With the same robot, they're able to execute it in 2 minutes, 10 seconds, 400 points. Then, the next 2 or whoever, like that. What if on the day that it happens, Sai and Ria are sick? If you got a different robot and you haven't worked with their robot, what's going to happen? Are they going to succeed? They're not going to succeed.
Because they won't know what to do.
Extremely right. So, you know, who here doesn't know or knows about Lance Armstrong? You remember him?
Yeah, the guy that Armstrong fans won it a bunch of times and then 2 trucks.
Right? Lance Armstrong?
Oh, yeah, he's that
Cycle.
French bicycle guy.
U.S. guy who won the French bike championship.
Oh.
Okay? He had identical bikes. So anything happens, boom, it's crashed, gets on the other bike, keep towing. He knows the bike, trains on the bike. Question.
Did you like keep it along?
You kept it along and there was a trailer. That was called the bike support trailer. You know, so if something happens, you get an extra bike and off you go. Okay? Because they really count on, not that you have to go back to base and get another bike, they want to see what can you do from here. And they don't want you to walk back to there. That would be too much. Right? So that's the reason, this is how this is going to work. You're going to come down to one, you look at the practices and the collaboration of the team, you better pay attention to how they're doing, what they're doing. Okay? Last year we had a big problem in these two phases. People were getting real creative, and there was a disconnect with the missions. Okay?
But the rover was so cool.
All right? And some people would look at some mission and get stuck and think, I'm going to do this thing. If you're not making progress, you better move to something you can finish. So you have to be aware of the team. Very, very important. Any questions about this? Okay, so,
Okay, what's our non-profit program called?
well, we're going to work on that a little bit later.
Okay, because I'm working on the app.
Okay, let's put that on a hold. I'm going to turn it over now. Now, the rest of the meeting, you talked about the researching a plan B?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So right now,
Wait, what? Yeah.
right now what I want